Okay, so we have a back test running here. Let's see how this is doing. It picked February 14th, 2025 to May 14th, 2025. That's actually very good. It picked some very good dates for us. Perfect. I like that. That was smart. A brand new AI is definitely doing some pretty killer stuff. That was actually very impressive that I was able to ask it that. I basically asked it. So for those of you just tuning in, we built a put option trading bot because we're looking to do something like if the stock market falls, we want to be able to profit off of that. So we built a bot to do that. And I actually just asked the bot, I said, you know what, back test it over the time period when the market fell this year and actually figure that out. It figured out, this is the time that it fell. It's doing it from February till May, and we're running this back test. Let's see how this goes. Right now, it's probably just downloading some data and see how this runs. The one right before it did not have any trades, which makes sense because we did not have a steep enough downturn. I'm actually wondering whether our AI is a little bit too strict. We built out this bot, and it's the rules might be a little too strict around it. So I want to see this back test. We'll see how this works. We'll let it run for a bit, and let me check up on logs to see what it's actually doing. Right? Yeah. No signal, no signal. It's downloading some data, right? So it's basically just downloading data for us right now. We're letting it do its thing, right? There's actually a lot of data to do something like this. When we're running put options are kind of a lot. So we got a question here. So just Medi, this is a good question. What LLM are we using in the background? We're using Gemini 3. So actually we use a few different AIs. I'll take that back. We use Gemini 3 to have the conversation going. So if you see all this conversation that we're having back and forth is all Gemini 3. I actually think it's very good at tool calling and things like that. And then for the code generation, we do not use Opus 4.5. We've thought about it. The problem with Opus is that it's very slow and it's very expensive, right? Opus is something like 5 times more expensive than Codex. So we use Codex to generate the stuff. We actually don't need a more powerful AI than Codex. We found that Codex is actually performing very well at generating these things. So we actually don't need a different kind of AI. Opus is great, but I just think it's overkill. We don't need to spend that much money on generating strategies. Right now, we're watching this thing. It's downloading some data. I'm just taking a look at the logs here. Closest strike. Right, so this is actually pretty complex because it's based off of deltas. So it actually looks like it found something. I'm just reading through the logs here, right? But it looks like it found something and it's actually buying a put option. So this is fantastic. Let's see how this turns out. Okay, so bought a put option. We can watch this thing go. It's at 12% right now. Let's see if this thing actually makes money. I'm very curious because if this thing would have made money at the beginning of the year, presumably if something else like that happens, this thing could actually do very well. I'm very curious. It does take quite a while to backtest this though, because we're looking at deltas, right? We have to download a lot of different options. So this thing is going a little bit slow, but it makes sense though. It's going over so much different data that it actually makes sense for it to be slow. I'm not that surprised. Yeah, look at this. It just keeps downloading data. It's downloading tons and tons of data. And one of the things that we actually added to our platform very recently, by the way, for those of you that are curious, is we actually added in the ability to cache data like this. So the first time around when we run this back test, it's going to be a little bit slow because it's never seen this data before. But the second time around will be much faster. So what do you think about that? Put it into the comments. Let me know. I respond to all of your comments. So I'm very interested to hear what you thought about the video and what do you want to see next. And of course, if you're interested in any of this stuff, go check it out at botspot.trade.